front foot. Same with Liverpool, they like to press, so it should be a really interesting game.
We're underway. Last year's runners-up, Liverpool, looking to try and reach another final. They've done so on 3 occasions in the last 5 years. And Napoli playing from left to right as we look high up and a long way back here in the main stand as the large white and blue flags fly in the Nord Curva away towards our left-hand side, and they're jumping up and down in unison on that top tier. And then so many bare-chested, I assume they're all males, as Osimhen makes the run forward. Alisson's come, hasn't got there. Osimhen hits the post, right-hand side. Early scare for Liverpool inside the opening 45 seconds.
It was the run, it was the speed of the run that made it. And he just went round Alisson and hit the outside of the post, but it was a great run. He looks a talented player, quick, but holds the ball well.
He's quick, he's aggressive, he'll always look to run in behind. As Ongisa coming forward now. Ongisa plays the ball back to Lobotka. He was just trying to set the scene before Osimhen made that run. There must be close to 1,000 supporters who are bare-chested in the top tier away towards our right-hand side. That must resemble a mosh pit on what is an extremely sultry night in southern Italy. Temperature around 28 degrees at kickoff, but Napoli coming close. The other thing to look out for as well is this man who's on the ball now, Kvaratskhelia. I think he'll remind me a little bit of Konoplyanka, who Liverpool tried to sign a few years ago, the Ukrainian. But he plays on the left, but he'll look to cut in onto his favoured right foot. The area, though, that Mo Salah will try and exploit is in behind, because he might just leave Oliveira, the left-back, a little bit exposed. As Liverpool, with Van Dijk to Gomez. 0-0 in the Champions League on BBC Radio 5 Live. Five Live final score is also available on the iPlayer and the red button. As Firmino can't control the ball, stepping out of defence was Romani, and then out towards that far side. The ball played back to Kvaratskhelia. Osimhen making that run in again. That's twice now. And the thing is, because Liverpool's fullbacks push up, there will be space for Osimhen to make those runs behind. It's got a feel of a very open game here. Liverpool are on the attack. But that was Di Lorenzo. He'll stay quite narrow as a right back with the interception. And Lobotka plays the ball back to the central defender, and then it's played out by Kim, given away, and it rolls back to Merritt. But it's been an entertaining 3 minutes.
Lively opening, and Liverpool will still play with a high line, even though he's getting in behind. Osimhen with the runs that he's making.
Mark was saying about the spirit of Maradona living on. I was hoping that they would play Opus and Life is Life. Think back to that iconic video of when Maradona was warming up back in 1989 for a UEFA Cup semi-final, and they duly obliged as the Napoli players came out to warm up. They're on the attack now. The ball is played back, and it just goes wide. It was a shot coming in from Zielinski. Got a touch on its way through. Down the left-hand side, pulled it back, and the Polish international. The referee given a penalty here. There's a potential check for a penalty with VAR.
They've sliced Liverpool open twice.
Milner. By UEFA standards, I would think this will be given because his arm is outstretched. Napoli have a penalty inside the opening 4 minutes. The shot from Zielinski, and a Milner crouching down, had his left hand away from his body. And the Spanish referee, who is Carlos del Cerro Grande, has given a penalty. Jurgen Klopp getting some instructions to Robertson. And now all of a sudden, it is Napoli who have a penalty inside these opening 5 minutes. Zielinski waits. The Polish international. Alisson all in yellow on his goal line. You'll hear the roar back home if this spot kick goes in, such is the cauldron inside this stadium here in Naples. 5 minutes on the clock. Zielinski, short run-up, right-footed, scores. Liverpool have a dreadful record in Naples. They've conceded an early penalty, and Zielinski has converted it to send the supporters into raptures. Napoli 1, Liverpool 0.
It's only what they've deserved. They've cut Liverpool open twice with two good moves, and then they get the penalty, which was a definite penalty with an outstretched hand by James Milner, but Zielinski sent Alisson the wrong way. This is going to be tough for Liverpool now to get back in the game.
Earlier in Liverpool's group, as you may have heard, Ajax trounced Rangers 4-0, Eintracht Frankfurt 0, Sporting 3 was the result in the other early game. That, of course, is Tottenham's group. Tottenham against Marseille. We'll have regular updates with John Murray. But Liverpool have fallen behind in a ground, or on a ground, where they've never scored in 3 previous visits. But we were expecting an aggressive start from Napoli, and it's yielded an early goal. Luis Diaz for Liverpool, left-hand side of the penalty area. Left-footed cross, block, rolls out of play for a corner kick to Liverpool, who trail 1-0.
When you come away to places like you play Napoli away, you need to quieten the crowd. But the crowd are up for it, you can hear them. The boisterous, they want more. The consent, they want the blood of Liverpool now.
They're unbeaten in 8 Champions League home games since Manchester City back in the campaign of 17-18. Won here by 4-2. As Alexander-Arnold, this near side to left for a corner kick for Liverpool. In it goes. Van Dijk climbs in the 6-yard box. Headed out. Headed back by Robertson. Cleared. Osimhen takes the ball on his chest. Runs out towards the left-hand side. Kvaratskhelia makes the run ahead of him. They had Zielinski going through the middle. Kvaratskhelia unable to pick him out. But Kvaratskhelia now pulls the ball back. Ongisa's first-time shot cannons off a couple of Liverpool players. Fabinho and Gomez. Napoli, every time they come forward at the moment, look a real threat.
How quick do they get forward? They're passing through the lines and they're running forward. They're doing the hard yards of the game. They're making runs in behind Liverpool constantly.
Here is Gomez, who turns, passes the ball back to Alisson, the Brazilian. He kept 27 clean sheets in his 54 games last season, but he's only kept 2 clean sheets in 7 so far this. And Liverpool, who've conceded first in 8 of their last 10 Premier League games, have conceded first yet again in this Champions League campaign. Champions League campaign where they were so successful last year, winning all 6 in the group stages. Here is Firmino, tries to thread a ball through, comes back to Firmino, left of the centre circle, left of the outside the penalty area. Elliott plays the ball in towards the far post. Salah can't keep the ball in play. Out it rolls for a goal kick. Napoli lead by a goal to 0, 8 minutes played.
Beautiful ball by Harvey Elliott. Left foot, I thought much more Salah just got a little earlier. He'd have had a tap in. But you've got to look at the way Napoli are playing here. The movement from the forwards, making runs on the outside, making runs on the inside.
We just had a PA announcement saying we'd like to adhere to social distancing at all times. I'll refer you back to the mosh pit away to my right-hand side, because you've got about 1,000 bare-chested supporters gathered in very, very close proximity. Good luck with that. There is no social distancing inside this stadium. 9 minutes played. Liverpool are behind. How have Tottenham started? John Murray.
Tottenham 0, Marseille 0, 8 minutes on the clock. We've got a similar scene here as well, with several hundred Marseille fans bare-chested in their section, and they're stoking the atmosphere. Really lively here, but the match between these two teams, unbeaten so far this season, is largely being played between the penalty areas. So it's Tottenham 0, Marseille 0.
Thank you, John. Milner's just been booked for a late challenge on Onguisa. So the vastly experienced James Milner made his 600th league appearance of his career at the weekend. He's fast approaching 600 in the Premier League. But again, the Spanish referee showing his first yellow card of the evening here in Naples. So you'll have to be careful now with your former Leeds United teammate.
He's had some career, James Milner, true professional, making his debut at Leeds at 16. He's been a fantastic servant of the game. and he's bringing experience now to this Liverpool team. But if you look at the way Napoli are playing now, it's Lobotka, the holding midfielder, who's really dictating the game. So one of the Liverpool midfielders, or Firmino, needs to drop in and get a hold of him, because he's really dictating.
Free kick to Liverpool, 10 yards in on the left touch line, taken by Alexander-Arnold to Elliott, goes to square. Salah gets round the back, off the chest, Salah gets the shot charged down. Anguissa can't pick it up, Fabinho runs it out towards the right-hand side, lifts the ball back in, edge of the area, Kim attacks that, the South Korean international, to head the ball away. Liverpool have every red shirt in the Napoli half as they play from right to left. 11 minutes played, but Napoli leading through that Zelensky penalty. Here is Alexander-Arnold, now with Robertson. Robertson inside, Milner on his toes, helps it on its way to Gomez, quickly coming under pressure there from Politano, experienced Italian international winger. One of two changes made as they came from behind to beat Lazio away at the weekend. So they are still top of Serie A, going very, very well under Luciano Spalletti, who used to coach Salah and Alisson during his time at Roma. As Firmino inside his own half, back towards Robertson. Van Dijk spreads play, right-footed, out towards Salah. In behind the Georgian international, Kvaratskhelia couldn't get the ball back towards Salah. That was an area that we were looking at, because he would have been behind the left-back Oliveira, something that we touched on very early on here in Naples. Exclusive commentary from Naples here on BBC Radio 5 Live, BBC Sounds, and final 5 Live final score on the iPlayer and the red button. Luis Diaz, no substitution for actually being here. We were out in Amsterdam, Celtic last night, and now here in Naples. So certainly no shortage of atmosphere on these last two nights on BBC Radio 5 Live. And Napoli leading Liverpool by 1-0. So after that quite frenetic start, they're happy with the goal. They just seem to have slowed it down a little bit now, Jonathan.
The game just settled down a bit. Liverpool are trying to get Harvey Elliott on the ball, who's was playing some nice passes, created a couple of chances now. But Napoli, look, they've really impressed me. From minute one, they've impressed me now to how they're controlling the game. I mean, if you look at the players who they sold recently of last season, Insigne, Koulibaly, Dries Martins, Fabian Ruiz, you know, they sold a lot of top players, but they're still an incredible outfit now.
Well, the owner, the film producer, Aurelio De Laurentiis, he wants them to be sustainable as they're in round the back again on the left-hand side. Here is Anguissa, crosses the ball. Politano with a header, was actually going away from goal. It was headed away by Van Dijk. That's a concern. They're getting round the back of Alexander-Arnold on numerous occasions. As now he actually, with the interception, finds Salah to Firmino. Liverpool can attack. Firmino over the halfway line. Robertson on this near side, nicks it forward. Luis Diaz, the whistles from the Napoli supporters will tell you that Liverpool are in possession. Milner rolls it forward. Robertson makes the run in behind, wins a corner kick. Good play by Liverpool. From one end, they're on the defensive. All of a sudden, seconds later, they get a corner. 14 minutes played, but they're still behind.
Liverpool can do that. When Napoli are attacking, Liverpool can break quick because they've got the pace from the flanks, from Diaz, from Salah, Alexander-Arnold and Robertson, but they just need to be careful on the right-hand side. And Trent Alexander-Arnold's side, they're just getting down the side of him at times.
Zonal marking from Napoli, in comes the corner kick. Merritt, the goalkeeper, all in green, punches it away with both hands, comes out towards Politano, brings it under control, and then hooks it a little bit off balance, out of play for a Liverpool throw midway through the Napoli half. We've been playing for nearly 15 minutes on BBC Radio 5 Live, and Liverpool, last year's runners-up, are behind. Previously on their 3 visits, they actually hadn't conceded until the 81st minute, and yet still conceded 3 goals. So they've conceded early on this occasion, gives them an opportunity to come from behind. As here is Fabinho, under pressure from Lobotka, just tracking him. I remember seeing Lobotka, a Slovakian international, at an under-21 championships 5 years ago in Kielce in Poland. Caught the eye then. No surprise, he's playing a higher level now. As here is Anguissa looking for the run of Osimhen, gets away from Van Dijk into the penalty area. Van Dijk comes across, Osimhen goes down, stays down. Referee had a good view of it, no penalty.
Van Dijk's got his hands full with Osimhen. He really does. He's constant. That's 4 times now Osimhen's running behind. And take it from me as a defender, you don't like forwards running behind constantly, and that's what he's doing.
VAR are checking for the penalty. And the ball is put out of play by Alex Merritt, the goalkeeper. Osimhen is still down, so the goalkeeper put it out so they can have the treatment. But this will be, once again, VAR having a look at it. I mean, we're a long way away, so it's hard to tell. But on the giant screens at either end of the ground here, potential penalty check. And the crowd, once again, are getting excited about that. And the referee is being instructed to come across and look at the monitor. Jurgen Klopp just checking with him. Carlos Del Cerro Grande being told to look at the monitor. We know what this means. And there is a sign of Van Dijk standing on the foot of Osimhen. It's a slow-mo, it's actually a still. I prefer it when the referee's allowed to see it in its normal play rather than when the action's been paused.
That looks like a penalty.
Well, he's been causing Liverpool problems throughout. Van Dijk going into the inside left channel, coming across, and he seemed to stand on the foot of the Nigerian international. The referee is now walking across the athletics track. It's a penalty. Double trouble for Liverpool. Alisson will face another penalty, and Van Dijk is shown a yellow card. The second Liverpool player to be booked. And Alisson will need to be Liverpool's hero. Interesting now here, Zelensky took the first penalty kick, but Victor Osimhen has actually placed the ball down on the spot.
He's impressed me.
Yeah, he'll be in the Premier League. He's only 23 years of age, but he's 6'1".
Destined for the Premier League.
He's lean, he's quick, and he scores goals. So, it's a different penalty taker for Napoli. This time, it's Victor Osimhen. Alisson waits on his goal line, all in yellow. Osimhen runs up. Different taker for Napoli. Saved by Alisson. Comes out to the rebound and touched over from a very, very tight angle. And Alisson is Liverpool's hero. He denies the second spot kick, and it remains 1-0 to Napoli.
Top save by Alisson. Really good. I can never understand why they're changing the penalty taker. I don't understand that. Surely Zelinski's got to step up again. He must be confident he's just took that first one, but then for Osimhen to stand that, I don't understand that. I really don't.
Diving away towards his right-hand side. Alisson with the important stop and the save there. And it means that it's just a slender lead that Napoli still have. Now, will they rue that missed opportunity? Here is Elliott, central area, out to Salah, miscontrols the ball, right side of the penalty area, taken away from him by Matthias Oliveira, and out of play for a Liverpool throw. That would have been really, really difficult for Liverpool to come back from 2-0 down. Barcelona are leading Victoria Pilsen by a 0-0 in Group C. It's his first penalty save in 4 years from outside of the FA Cup penalty shootouts and things like that. The information being provided by the helpful Dom King of the Daily Mail, who's just sitting 2 seats away from us, who starred on the 5 Live bonus Football Daily pod last night from Naples. Kvaratskhelia coming forward once again, drifting into a central area, holding on to the ball. Excellent footwork by Kvaratskhelia. He looks some player.
The fans love that.
Out to Politano, coming in now off the right touchline, crosses left-footed, gathered in by Alisson. Napoli are the better side. 20 minutes played, leading by a goal to nil.
The footwork there, Kvaratskhelia in the centre of the pitch. Beautifully composed bit of skill there, and he wrapped the ball out wide. He's got some ability coming on that right foot.
Liverpool trailing on a very, very humid night here in Naples. Luis Diaz, near side to left. Playing from right to left. Still 0-0 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs against Marseille. Earlier Rangers in Liverpool's group lost 4-0 in Amsterdam. As Liverpool get a free kick, haven't really been able to test Alex Merritt, the Italian international goalkeeper. Let's see what they can do with this free kick. It's a good 25 yards out. It's left of centre. We've got Robertson and Milner to take it. And what has been a difficult opening 20 minutes so far for last year's runners-up in the Champions League. Milner walks away. Alexander-Arnold has joined Robertson to take it. So this will be off the right foot of Alexander-Arnold for an in-swinging free kick. There are 5 red shirts in the penalty area away towards our left-hand side. Robertson has his left arm, his right arm aloft. It's going to be the right foot of Alexander-Arnold, who goes for goal. And I think got a touch there from the goalkeeper. It was dipping, finger-tipped over by Alex Merritt. Corner kick to Liverpool.
Yeah, just a fingertip, just made sure that it wasn't going in. But from that free kick, Napoli sitting really deep. Normally you'd push your line up to the 18-yard box and leave the space in behind you, but Napoli doing it different.
It was a swinging, dipping free kick that Alex Merritt couldn't afford to take any chances. Tipped it over. It's that far side, the right. Liverpool have a corner kick. In it comes now, headed out by Osimhen inside his 6-yard area. Won back by Harvey Elliott on the right-hand side, closed down by Anguissa, who was on loan here last season from Fulham and turned it into a permanent move. 35 appearances in total that he has made, the Cameroon international, as Liverpool win another corner kick far side, still trailing 1-0. It's another in-swinger, punched out by Merritt, the keeper, comes to Alexander-Arnold. Lifts it back across. Salah couldn't control it, unmarked. What a chance that was. Almost by the left corner of the 6-yard box. If he brings it down, he has a goal just to keep it a beat. Couldn't control it off his left foot. Bounces away from him out for a goal kick.
Do you know what? That's been Salah at the start of the season. Little bits of control, little finishing that he'd normally put away. And like you say, that they're not, if he controls that, it's a tap-in. It's an easy take as well. It's not a hard one. He's got to do better than that.
Yet to score in his last 6 Champions League matches. His last goal was against Inter in February. Been on a good run before that, scoring I think it's something like 8 successive away matches in Europe. Here is Robertson to Luis Diaz, looking to try and get past Di Lorenzo. Touches the ball back to Milner. Liverpool just starting to see a little bit more of the ball now, still trailing 1-0. Thanks to Alisson saving that second penalty after the first was converted by Zielinski. 23.5 minutes played. Robertson wraps it in towards Luis Diaz, tries to roll away from his marker into the path of Alexander-Arnold, who screws it wide just outside the D, right-footed, always on the rise, onto the athletics track behind that goal, out for a goal kick. Napoli still lead.
It's amazing some of the places that Alexander-Arnold finds himself on the pitch. Always really high up, never really back when Liverpool have the ball. Like I say there, with that shot there, he's on the edge of the box. Really plays super high at the pitch, not as high as Robertson does, but he's up there. He's been in for some criticism this season, but he's still an outstanding player.
Do you feel, Jonathan, that Liverpool are now just starting to feel their way and get more of a grip in this game?
You can look at it that way, but Napoli can just turn the switch at any point with the forward runs that they're making. Yeah. And if Lobotka keeps on getting on the ball like he's starting to do again, then Liverpool are going to find it difficult.
Di Lorenzo has played a ball over the top. It's a late flag. Osimhen is offside. It'll be a free kick to Liverpool. Of course, we have the semi-automated VAR offside to be used in the group stages. It'll be an operation as well as the World Cup in the winter in Qatar. So you're going to see a lot more toenail offside decisions as a result. But on this occasion, It was the assistant referee, waited, kept his flag down, and then he raised it. Let's get another update from Tottenham, shall we, John Murray?
Almost 25 minutes played. Tottenham 0, Marseille 0. It's very evenly contested, but we've not yet seen an attempt on target. There's just been one corner, Son's corner, that was headed away at the near post for Marseille by Guendouzi. So between the teams third in England and second in France, it's 0-0.
Thank you, John. Liverpool win the ball with Luis Diaz to Robertson. Strong run inside. Firmino passes the ball to Elliott, scoops it forward, headed out by Kim. Lifted away then by Oliveira, the left back. He was tucked in and quite narrow. Ball played back from Alexander-Arnold on the right-hand side. Fabinho returns the ball to Alexander-Arnold. Down by the corner flag he goes. He swings over a deep cross, high in the air. Runs out left corner of the area to Robertson, plays it low. Elliott, he goes square. Fabinho waits. Good spell of pressure from Liverpool. Alexander-Arnold with the cross. Firmino rises. And last touch came off the defender behind him. And it will be a corner kick to Liverpool. Better from Jurgen Klopp's side.
Better, good passage of play, getting the ball out wide. Trent delivering. Good defended by Napoli in the end. Liverpool at times just need to move it that slightly bit quicker, and they'll get in because Napoli are compact, they're defending deep when they have to. Olemun's coming all the way back in and defending, and they're compact as a team, so Liverpool have to really move from side to side a little bit quicker.
Corner kick then on this near side. Alexander-Arnold to take it. It's an in-swinger from the left, headed out of the near post. Elliott plays it back. Gomez, forward ball, out towards Salah on the right-hand side. 27 minutes played. Headed out by Romani, only as far as Alexander-Arnold. Loses out in the challenge to Anguissa. Now to Politano. Picks it up midway through the Napoli half on this near side, the right, playing from left to right. Politano looking for the run of Osimhen once again, and he gets the better of Gomez. Gomez didn't deal with it. Osimhen is in. He's pulled it back. Great goal line clearance from Van Dijk to keep out Kvaratskhelia. Napoli looked certain to score again, but Van Dijk never stopped running back, and he cleared away to prevent a certain second goal. Still 1-0 Napoli.
It's a running behind again by Osimhen, but it's that Van Dijk never gives up, gets himself back on the line. What a piece of defending that is by Van Dijk. Never gives up, but they're getting in. When they get forward, Napoli, they're getting in constantly. They're getting in, and they're causing Liverpool so many problems.
How good is Victor Osimhen? Corner kicks taken short on the right-hand side. Politano now curls it in, headed out by Firmino. And then Kvaratskhelia on the volley skies it, and it drifts out of play for a goal kick. He's strong, he's fast, he seems to have every attribute, and he scores goals as well.
The only thing he's done wrong is not put the penalty in.
Yeah.
But he's been absolutely outstanding in this first 28 minutes of the game. He's been difficult to play against, really difficult to play against. One thing he maybe should have done a bit better there was he delayed the pass, and if he'd have given it earlier, Kvaratskhelia had basically an open goal.
Well, Liverpool will be thankful first to Alisson and then to Van Dijk, but it is only that Zelensky early penalty that separates the two. Alisson saving the penalty from Osimhen after 18 minutes, and then Van Dijk with a goal line clearance. Kvaratskhelia, by the way, no wonder he's being dubbed the new king of Naples. The Georgian international has scored 4 goals in his 5 appearances so far since he arrived for £9 million from Dinamo Batumi. He's been linked in the past with a lot of Premier League clubs. I'm sure those links will continue the way that he's started life in Serie A. Liverpool, how worried were you there with Gomez and how he was just shrugged off the ball there, Jonathan?
That was too easy. It was far too easy, and luckily enough, Van Dijk gets him out of trouble, but he needs to do better. He's going to know he's been playing against a centre forward now for 30 minutes. He knows what he's going to do. He's going to close him down. He's going to pressurise him. But he didn't see it, and he wasn't strong enough.
Liverpool are attacking with Elliott inside to Trent Alexander-Arnold to Salah with his back to goal. He turns and shoots left-footed. But it was a comfortable save in the end for the goalkeeper, Alex Merritt. Inter 0, Bayern 1 in Group C. Remember, Barcelona 1, Victoria Pilsen is already a latest score in Group C. You might have seen that for yourself if you're listening and watching to 5 Live final score, either on the red button or indeed the iPlayer. But here in Naples, with a quarter of an hour to go to half-time, Liverpool had a chance there. Didn't really work the goalkeeper enough.
Normally, a confident Salah. Oh, he's going to go.
Kvaratskhelia away from Gomez. Osimhen waits inside the penalty area. Kvaratskhelia has some support from Anguissa inside the left side of the penalty area. Work back to Anguissa, and Anguissa goes on to score. The former Fulham man increases Napoli's advantage, and Liverpool's struggles continue here in Naples. Napoli 2, Liverpool 0, and Jurgen Klopp's side have got it all to do.
The 1-2 that, I'm sure it was Gomez in the first place who got again shrugged off the ball. But then it was a 1-2, no one goes to him and he's free in the box. Napoli have been a team who are absolutely destroying Liverpool. It could be 4-0 in this first half, and this is against a top team. It wouldn't surprise me if Joe Gomez gets taken off at half-time. He's finding it tough.
Gomez once again didn't have the strength, and then Anguissa plays a 1-2 with Zelensky unmarked on the edge of the area, slips him back in. Anguissa steadies himself, left-footed, guides the ball inside the right-hand post as we look, scores his first goal for the club, and Napoli now, after 31 minutes, are leading by 2-0.
How easy was it when you see it back on the... How easy was that to get in? But for me, it's been too easy the whole game. Again, they're through him again.
And it's particularly down that left-hand side. Kvaratskhelia, they're getting so much joy round the back of Alexander-Arnold. Time and time again, the two centre-backs look like they're being exposed.
Yeah, they do. They do. I mean, it's the runs in behind that are constant. And it's Lobotka, but Lobotka's dictating. Zelinski's playing in the tenors in the pocket, and no one can really pick them up because they're getting into deep areas. It was finding it really tough here.
Yeah, they are. They really are. It was never going to be an easy task here in Naples, but Liverpool now are going to have to really produce something special, trailing by 2-0. The Nordkurve are jumping up and down in unison. The white and blue flags are flying. They're clapping a hand above their heads, away towards our right-hand side as the cross comes in. Downward header, beaten out by the goalkeeper, moving away towards his left-hand side. Did well, actually, because the bounce off the ball really reared up as Liverpool try and reduce the arrears. And then the ball is put out by Oliveira. It's a good ball in, and it was Van Dijk with a downward header that just touched away by both hands from Merritt.
He gets up early there, Van Dijk. That's a key when you're a centre-half going up. Don't just go up there and try and make a difference. But when a centre-half gets up early or a centre-forward, it is difficult to defend, and his timing of his jump.
Osimhen again up against Gomez. Gomez on this occasion shows the strength to deal with the Nigerian, and then it's back with Fabinho to Van Dijk. 11 minutes to go to half-time. Liverpool are 2-0 down.
He done well, Joe Gomez, and that scenario there. I'll give him more confidence.
Alexander-Arnold to the feet of Salah, plays it back to Elliott. Alexander-Arnold to Elliott once again. Ball then is switched to the left-hand side for Robertson. Early layoff to Luis Diaz. A reminder that Liverpool won all 6 away matches in the Champions League last season, and scoring at least 2 goals each time. They're on the attack now, and it comes towards Elliott at the far post. Might have just taken a deflection on its way through, and I think he's kneed it. at that far post, off target and out for a goal kick, as Barcelona now lead Victoria Pilsen 2-0. 2-0 to Barcelona in Group C. Lewandowski scored.
Elliott just sees it late, it flicks off the centre-half's head, and he doesn't really expect it. But I'd say Harvey Elliott's been one of Liverpool's better players, probably the best player for Liverpool.
Jonathan Woodgate, the former England international, with us here inside the Stadio Diego Armando Maradona, which was changed from the Stadio San Paolo following his death in 2020. And wherever you wander in the city of Naples, you'll see images of Maradona, whether it be posters in shop windows, T-shirts of the Neapolitans wandering around the city, which has been soaked in sunshine for the last 2 days. From the glory years, of course, in the late 80s. They've faced hardship since then, Napoli. They've re-emerged as a force after their bankruptcy in 2004. And they're certainly going to be a force on the evidence of what we've seen here tonight, and these 36 minutes leading by 2-0.
Very good team. Ran by Lobotka, the holding midfielder. Number 68, constantly wants the ball, dictates play, and then you've just got the runs in behind, which are constant.
And there's another one. It was a long ball played forward, looking for Osimhen, but there was Alisson, all in yellow, to the front edge of his penalty area to gather it in. Plays it forward, rolls it into Fabinho. Elliott now takes over in the centre circle. Elliott now to Milner, takes it over the halfway line. Liverpool on BBC Radio 5 Live still trail by 2-0. Elliott's forward ball goes straight through towards the goalkeeper Alex Merritt, and it will be Napoli once again. All the time in the world now, leading 2-0 with a vital cushion here in Naples. Ball rolled out then to Kim, the replacement for Koulibaly, signed from Fenerbahce for £15 million. That ball came back towards Merritt. It was a hurried clearance from the goalkeeper. Went straight to Fabinho, midway through the Napoli half. Now it's with Robertson, left-hand side, swings over the cross, headed out by Romani, who's a Kosovan international at the heart of their defence. Picked up now by Zielinski, holds on to it, looking for the run of Kvaratskhelia, and it will be a Liverpool throw over on that far side. 7 minutes to go to half-time. The ideal for Liverpool if they could get a goal back before the break, Jonathan.
That's ideal, but looking at this game, you can't see it. You can't see it at the minute. They've been very good, Napoli.
Milner makes the run. Thiago is on the bench, as is Arta, who they signed last week on deadline day from Juventus on loan. Anguissa winning the challenge. Seems to have settled in very, very well here in Naples, the former Fulham player. Van Dijk, forward ball. Firmino unmarked, left-hand side of the penalty area, stands over the cross. Elliott into the path of Alexander-Arnold, right-footed shot blocked, rebounds towards Elliott, 30 yards out from goal. Waits, left-footed ball into the penalty area, tucks in Di Lorenzo to head it away. Headed forward by Fabinho. Robertson under pressure, loses out. Anguissa caught. Fabinho will just about escape a yellow card from the Spanish referee. Anguissa has stayed down, 2-0 to Napoli.
The shape of Napoli when they're defending deep are compact, but as soon as they win the ball back, the wingers are off, the centre forwards off, and then it just leaves a lovely bit of space for Zielinski to receive on his back foot, and then he's got the runners in behind. They're brilliant at doing it. They're out the trap so quick when they win the ball back.
There was a lot of talk that Zielinski had been interesting West Ham and Tottenham Hotspur during the summer. Spurs, by the way, still drawing 0-0 at home to Marseille. Liverpool 2-0 down here on 5 Live Sport. We've got 5 minutes to go to half-time. The ball is played forward then for Fabinho. Elliott out towards Salah, right touchline, level the penalty area, back to Elliott, combines with Salah once more. It's a low ball in, and it's turned behind by Romani for a corner kick. Bouncing ball away on that athletics track behind that goal towards our left-hand side. Liverpool have a corner on their right, which, with 5 minutes to go to the break, Osimhen is down once again. He was a doubt coming into this match, and the referee's actually stopped his watch and has called for the physio. so there'll be a stoppage in play. It reminds an opportunity to give you a reminder that our next live action on Saturday, Leicester City Aston Villa from 3, Manchester City Tottenham will be the commentary from 5:30, where Chris Waddle will be alongside this man, John Murray.
Well, I'm all on my own here at the Tottenham Stadium tonight, and it's Tottenham 0, Marseille 0. And still, we've not seen either team have an attempt on target. But Harry Kane very nearly did a run into the box on the right-hand side, cut back. He could have been unselfish. He had options, but he went for goal himself, and it was blocked. So it's still Tottenham 0, Marseille 0.
Osimhen is unable to continue. Play only now is about to resume. He's hobbling off. You never want to see anybody injured, but he's been a real thorn in Liverpool's side.
Tell you what, the two centre-halves, I'll be absolutely delighted to see in the back of Osimhen. Absolutely delighted, because he's been so difficult to play against. I said earlier, when you're a centre-back, there's nothing worse when you've got a centre-forward making constant runs in behind you. And like Deno said earlier, he is destined for the Premier League.
Yeah, most definitely. Corner kick for Liverpool. Napoli have just made a change, I'll tell you about after this corner. In it comes now from the right-hand side, and it just seemed to run off the right foot of Van Dijk. His legs were quite wide apart. He was just standing still. It bounced away off his right foot along the ground, and Merritt made the save low down to his left. So Osimhen has come off, and Giovanni Simeone has come on, the Argentinian international, who is the son of Diego. So he comes on for just his third appearance for Napoli. As the ball is headed away by Kim, picked up by Luis Diaz. 3 minutes remain of this first half. Left-hand side of the penalty area. Kim once again stands tall into the challenge, gets his left foot in there and stabs it behind for a corner kick. Liverpool still 2-0 down.
It's good defending by Kim. 1v1, it's always difficult when you're up against Luis Diaz. Maybe tricky playing and hard to pin down, but he done well.
He's on loan from Verona. Giovanni Simeone, 5 caps for Argentina. Just another 108 to go to catch his old man. In comes the corner kick for Liverpool. Van Dijk climbs, but actually heads the ball away from the penalty area, picked up by Kvaratskhelia. Of course, they won't have that explosive pace of Osimhen, and on that occasion it was looking towards Simeone, but Liverpool dealt with it. Now the ball is volleyed towards Robertson, left-hand side. Robertson swings over the cross. A leaping Romani heads it away inside his penalty area. Hook further clear by Kvaratskhelia. Picked up by Alexander-Arnold. Interception from Kim. He seems to have been at the right place at the right time, the South Korean. Here is Kvaratskhelia over the halfway line for Napoli. Blue shirts, white shorts, playing from left to right, leading by 2-0, and 2 minutes to go to half-time.
Do you know when you normally talk about a Liverpool team, you normally talk about energy, don't you? A team being relentless. But that is what Napoli are today. When they run forward with speed. And they look the team like have the energy inside them to win this game.
Kvaratskhelia unable to get the ball forward, comes back then to Firmino for Liverpool, tries to touch it into the path of Elliott, but Lobotka does well. Might have just picked up and knocked there the Slovakian international with his shaven head in the midfield. Nice footwork by Anguissa. Little turn there to drag the ball away to give himself some space. And now with Oliveira away on that left-hand side. Kvaratskhelia goes on the outside of Alexander-Arnold with ease. Gomez once again, he hasn't dealt with a threat. And Liverpool have conceded again. And it is Giovanni Simeone who scores his first goal for Napoli. And he can't believe it. Just drops to his knees. The emotion gets the better of him. And Liverpool 3-0 down. Equals their heaviest defeats in the Champions League for what has been a wretched first half. Once again, they couldn't deal with Kvaratskhelia down the left. Alexander-Arnold and Gomez once more found wanting, and the easiest of tasks for Giovanni Simeone. It's Napoli 3, Liverpool 0.
Kvaratskhelia just walks past Trent Alexander-Arnold, and he just walks back. Gomez not strong enough, and it's a tap-in, but let's be honest, it could be 5. They've been very good, but at times Liverpool have been poor.
Well, had it not been for Van Dijk with a goal line clearance and Alisson with a penalty save, it would be 5. Rangers suffered a heavy defeat in Amsterdam. They were beaten 4-0 by Ajax, and Liverpool, last year's runners-up, are 3-0 down as we enter 2 minutes of stoppage time. And Kvaratskhelia has caused umpteen problems down that far side. Van Dijk and Gomez have been exposed time and time again, and Gomez there and Alexander-Arnold just couldn't deal with a 21-year-old German. Milner's got to be careful here. That was a tired-looking challenge. He's already on a yellow card. That really would compound Liverpool's misery.
I'm sure Jurgen Klopp will make substitutions at half-time, seeing this first-half performance, and you could take a number of players off in the game. They just don't look like they have the energy. The energy looks like it's been sapped out with them. And Napoli have all the energy. They're very good on the ball. They're cutting through Liverpool when they want. There doesn't seem no energy in this Liverpool team at the minute.
No, there doesn't. And yet, if you'd have watched the Community Shield, they were so superior to Manchester City on that day. And yet, since then, they've made a sluggish start in the Premier League. And here, Gomez catching Simeone rather late, wrapping him round the heels. They are second best, and some.
Second best from the first minute. From the first minute, Napoli will have been at it. Lobotka dominating the ball, getting on the ball, being hard to pick up. The pace they're showing, from the forwards to the wingers. Liverpool have had no answer.
Well, looking to try and produce the answers in this half-time team talk will be Jurgen Klopp, because the half-time whistle has sounded, but the rapturous ovation will tell you that it's Napoli who are firmly in the ascendancy. They're leading Liverpool by 3-0. They had an early penalty. Milner penalised for a handball, converted by Zielinski. There was another penalty for a foul, Van Dijk on Osimhen, who actually took it this time, but Alisson diving to his right saved that spot kick. Van Dijk then made a goal line clearance to keep out Kvaratskhelia, but then Anguissa, after 31 minutes, down the left, and once again Kvaratskhelia for Simeone, and Liverpool have had all sorts of problems. Half-time then here in Naples. It's Napoli 3, Liverpool 0. Mark.
Napoli could have had 5, Jonathan, couldn't they?
Yeah, to be honest with you, chappers, Napoli have been absolutely terrific from minute 1, with the ball, without the ball, playing as a team. Kvaratskhelia causing all sorts of problems on Trent Alexander-Arnold's team, but they've been brilliant. And if you look at what this team are doing well, they're running in behind Liverpool. And I said in commentary, as a centre-back or as a full-back, you don't want players running behind you all the time, and that's what they've done. And it could be 5-0 because they've been that good.
But it's not new for teams to try and get at Liverpool by running in behind them, firstly, and secondly, by particularly running in behind them down Liverpool's right.
But you can run in behind, but it's the timing of the run. The timing of the run has been excellent, and Liverpool haven't had an answer for it. And you've got Lobotka, who's just picking off passes. Zielinski's going in the 10 position, and they can't pick him up. And then they're doing what they want down Liverpool's right-hand side. You've got Salah high, you've got Gomez, you've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, and they're causing them umpteen problems. I mean, if you look at the replay of Trent Alexander-Arnold's reaction when the ball goes past him, it's like a walk. And then Joe Gomez isn't strong enough. You're not used to seeing this with a Liverpool team.
The other game in that group earlier finished Ajax 4, Rangers 0. So the home sides are certainly scoring some goals in the Champions League in that group this evening. No goals for John Murray though.
No, Tottenham 0, Marseille 0. Got a lively atmosphere and a very closely contested match on the pitch between these two teams who are both unbeaten so far this season. Marseille have had more of the play. They've actually had 62% possession, Marseille, but the goalkeepers, Lloris and Pau Lopez, have had relatively little to do. Late in the half, Harry Kane had Spurs 2 real chances. One was a shot blocked. He might have been more unselfish there. He did have options, and the other was a shot across the face of goal. And in added time, Lloris at the other end made his first save. Guendouzi, the former Arsenal man, had a shot from 25 yards out, maybe a little bit more than that, but it was quite comfortable down to Lloris's right to dive and push it away. So half time here, Tottenham 0, Marseille 0.
The other game in that group earlier finished Eintracht Frankfurt 0, Sporting Lisbon 3. You know, Diego Simeone won't have been able to see his son score for Napoli this evening, John Bennett, because this Atletico side are in action.
Yes, and it's been a poor game, to be honest, in Group B. Atletico Madrid 0, FC Porto 0. This was the game last season where there were 3 red cards in this fixture. A lot less feisty tonight, 0-0. We need some more drama in that game. In the same group, though, the problems continue for Bayer Leverkusen. They've made their worst start to a season for 40 years, and they are 1-0 down against Club Brugge. On to Group C, the toughest group in this season's Champions League. It is Inter 0, Bayern Munich 1 at half-time. Inter were very difficult to break down with their back 5. Eventually, though, Bayern scored. Leroy Sané, after a ball over the top, rounded the goalkeeper and he scored. And in the other game in that group, a former Bayern Munich player has scored 2 goals. It's Robert Lewandowski. Barcelona 3, Victoria Pilsen 1. So Robert Lewandowski scoring 2 on his Champions League debut for Barcelona. When it was just 1-0, though, to Barcelona, they thought they were down to 10 men. Andreas Christensen, former Chelsea player, shown a red card, penalty given, but it was overturned by VAR. So the fans breathed a sigh of relief. It's Barcelona 3, Victoria Pilsen 1.
Thank you very much, John. Let's get the latest from the US Open. Here's David. David, are you there?
Sorry, there's so much noise inside the Arthur Stadium, Mark, because Francis Tiafoe, the home player, has just taken a 2-0 lead that I can barely hear you. He's just won the second set on a tiebreak, 7 points to love. America hasn't had a man winning the US Open for 19 years, and they're getting very excited about this young man, 24 years of age. He's just taken a 2-0 lead against Andrei Rublev. There's going to be a new men's champion here at this year's US Open, a new Grand Slam champion, because all the likely suspects of Nadal and Djokovic, they're not in the quarterfinals, and Tiafoe leads 2-0 with a place in the semi-finals on offer.
8 minutes to 9. This is BBC Radio 5 Live, and here's the latest news.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
With the 5 Live News, I'm Sophie Yardley. Liz Truss has taken part in her first PMQs, confirming that a plan to help people struggling with energy bills will be announced tomorrow. The Labour leader, Sir Keir Starmer, told Ms Truss that working people would foot the bill under her plans because she'd refused to extend a windfall tax on gas and oil companies. The family of a 23-year-old rapper who was shot dead by police in South London on Monday night have told the BBC they want answers. Chris Cabba was killed after a police chase. The police watchdogs investigating the incident. Buckingham Palace says a meeting of the Privy Council scheduled for this evening has been postponed because the Queen's been advised to rest. She met both Boris Johnson and Liz Truss at Balmoral yesterday. And Peppa Pigs featured a same-sex couple for the first time in the show's 18-year history. An episode which aired earlier this week showed a family with 2 mothers after around 24,000 people signed a petition.
On BBC iPlayer.
The main reaction when Jair Bolsonaro declared his candidacy was laughter.
One man and his family's unexpected ascent to power in Brazil.
Until he wasn't so funny. He wasn't a joke.
The true story of a dynasty that shook South America.
He sees the Amazon as a gold mine.
Boom, his son is embroiled in this big corruption scandal.
What I saw in people's eyes was worship.
Bolsonaro is doing something radically different, something that even Trump wouldn't do.
The Boys from Brazil, Rise of the Bolsonaros. Watch tonight on BBC iPlayer.
This is 5 Live Sport with Mark Chapman.
In the games involving the English sides in the Champions League this evening, Tottenham 0, Marseille 0. and we'll be back in Naples shortly, where at half-time it is Napoli 3, Liverpool 0. The producer has just said in my ear, Ian's with you next to talk golf. But the thing is, Ian Carter, it's never just talking golf now, is it? You may as well have just said Ian's with you next to talk live.
Yeah, we're not talking birdies and bogeys right now. We're not talking about draws or fades or cuts or whatever. It's all about live, isn't it? And, today was an important day. We heard from the chief executive of the DP World Tour, Keith Pelly. We also heard from Rory McIlroy. And I have to say, he seems to be relishing this role as the unofficial spokesman for golf status quo in this ongoing power struggle for the future of the sport. He encouraged us to ask him about what is a tense week. So many of the players said, don't talk to me about live, but McIlroy is the exact opposite. Remember, he said that he thought that it would be hard to stomach having 17 of these live players in the field for this week's BMW PGA Championship at Wentworth. And he had quite a few funny comments, actually. One of them, when he was asked as to whether he'd have an extra incentive to win if he was up against a live rebel coming down the stretch on Sunday afternoon, he said, well, they'll probably be too tired. They only play 54 holes these days. There was a hypothetical, would you allow players back on tour who've been banned for playing for live? He said, yeah, no problem. They can go to Q school. He's absolutely relishing this. We got the opportunity to ask him a few questions. I asked him whether or not he'd bumped into any of these rebels as yet.
I haven't seen many of them, to be honest. It is what it is. They're here, they're playing the golf tournament. My opinion is they shouldn't be here, but again, that's just my opinion. But we're all going to tee it up on the first tee tomorrow. We're going to go play 72 holes, which is a novelty for them at this point. And we'll go from there.
Rory, obviously with all that's been going on with Liv and its impact on the golf ecosystem, or however you want to put it, we've heard you speak at length about how the PGA Tour can react to it and how it's going to be going forward. We've not heard you speak about the impact on the DP World Tour. What do you see that impact being, and how can this organisation, European Tour as was, counter what is going on at the moment?
Yeah, so I think that, again, the strategic alliance or partnership with the PGA Tour has been a massive help to the European Tour in terms of the prize funds that are going to be played for over the next 5 years, guaranteed prize funds. So I think that partnership sort of helps. It helps the rank and file in Europe, knowing that they're going to be teeing it up every week and playing for more money, essentially. And it's a pathway to the most competitive tour in the world. You get that there's 10 cards that are going to be allocated to European Tour members every year going to the PGA Tour, and that's such a great thing. It's a better pathway than there's ever been. I think about how much better I became as a golfer by going over and playing over there, and to have these young Europeans having that opportunity. I'm just thinking about Ryder Cup in the future and how much better prepared they're going to be for that. That's going to be such a great thing going forward. So I'm excited about it. I'm very bullish about it.
McIlroy there. He also, Ian, talked about his relationship with a number of the Ryder Cup teammates of his, and those relationships, if you listen to him, are strained, aren't they?
Yeah, and I think that's an understatement. The likes of Ian Poulter, Lee Westwood, Sergio Garcia, they're all now live players. And McIlroy admitted that he doesn't have much of a relationship with any of them. Now, whatever you think about the current situation, I think it's easy to feel rather sad about that, given how much Ryder Cup success and defeats that they've shared together, and we're always told, that they have this impenetrable bond after a Ryder Cup. Well, that seems to be in bits now. Incidentally, there is footage also doing the rounds on social media, Mark, at the moment, of Ian Poulter in a pretty tense-looking exchange on the putting green at Wentworth with this week's defending champion, an American, Billy Horschel, who has been, as we heard on 5 Live Sport last night, another of the outspoken critics of Live Golf.
I mean, for all the criticism and for all the attention that it has brought, actually, the tense moments, such as you've just described between Poulter and Horschel, actually add to some of the drama.
It does. I mean, it's generating an awful lot of interest, and I think from the tournament's point of view, we've not seen an adverse effect in terms of the interest in the tournament. The last 3 days are sellouts. We're expecting big crowds tomorrow, those marquee groups going out at 8:30. But all of this is riddled with, some people might see it as pettiness, others might see it as being strategic, but none of these Live rebels are in any of the high profile tee times. They're being denied sort of TV coverage. They have been asked not to wear Live badges, which the players seem to be okay with. They seem to be very conciliatory, but everything that can be done, none of these players were in the Pro-Am today. Everything that can be done to make them feel unwelcome is being done by the tour, and that is an extraordinary circumstance. In all my time covering golf, I have never known of players being made to feel unwelcome at tournaments. When you're thinking here about especially big name players, the likes of Patrick Reed from the United States, people like Abraham Ancer coming over. In the past, they'd have been thrilled to have a top player coming over in that particular way, but not in the current circumstances.
Ian, thank you very much. And Ian will keep us up to date throughout the course of the week from the BMW PGA at Wentworth. After 10 o'clock tonight, we'll talk more about Chelsea sacking Thomas Tuchel, Graham Potter, the favourite to take over at Stamford Bridge. One other football line for you on the men's side of things today. The Everton goalkeeper Jordan Pickford is set to miss the club's next couple of league games and the upcoming England internationals. He suffered a thigh injury in Saturday's draw with Liverpool. It looks like it's some party atmosphere in Naples at the moment. Napoli lead Liverpool by 3-0, and Jurgen Klopp will be making changes here.
Yes, he will. Jonathan Woodgate actually said it during commentary in the first half for Joel Matip to come on. So Matip has been just waiting patiently. Napoli's players, they're not going to make a change as they just come out onto the athletics track now and onto the pitch in their blue shirts and white shorts, followed by Liverpool. And it is Joe Gomez who is the player who's coming off, who has struggled really, really badly.
Yeah, he struggled. I mean, I've struggled in a lot of games when I was playing, and I've been taken off 38 minutes before and a half time, but he has struggled in the game. I do feel for him. He hasn't had much cover as well down that side of the pitch, so it's been a tough day for him.
That was Leicester, wasn't it?
Yeah, a few times Leicester and Wolves.
Yeah.
There's a few more as well.
Yeah, it was a League Cup tie, I seem to recall. They also got memories of you starring, I think days later actually, of that game in Rome against Lazio.
Against Lazio, yeah.
You and Alan Smith for what was a waiting England manager to be, Sven-Göran Eriksson.
The good old days.
So Jonathan Woodgate, former Leeds United defender, is with us here in Naples. So Liverpool are out. I'll run through the two teams. Merritt is in goal. Di Lorenzo, Romani, Kim and Oliveira the defence for Napoli. Lobotka and Anguissa with Politano, Zielinski and Kvaratskhelia behind now. Giovanni Simeone, who tonight has scored on loan from Verona, his first goal after replacing Osimhen. And for Liverpool, they have Alisson in goal, a back four now of Alexander-Arnold, Matip, Van Dijk and Robertson, a midfield three of Milner, Fabinho and Elliott, Salah, Firmino and Luis Diaz. Liverpool all in red, playing from left to right as we look on what has been a really, really torrid night so far. 3-0 down, Liverpool have come back from 3-0 down before, of course, against Italian opposition. But this Napoli side were tremendous in that first half. Liverpool, though, have got a corner kick on that far side to left. It's an outswinger, and Matip with a header. Planted it downwards, and Merritt with a save, all in green, away to his right, gathered the ball in safely.
It can cause problems from set players. Liverpool with the height advantage they've got now, and Napoli are going zonal. You said there, Daniel, that it is possible for Liverpool to come back into this game, but they have to do some improvement.
Got to look for that ball run over the top again. Simeone inside. Zielinski, great save by Alisson. Zielinski on the follow-up. Touches the ball back in. And Napoli have increased their lead even further. It's a horrible start to the second half. Liverpool are suffering such a heavy defeat here. It is Napoli 4, Liverpool 0. It's their heaviest ever defeat in the Champions League era.
Static. Again, the running behind this time by Simeone. But it's a run and then he gets the rebound, he dinks it over Alisson. Where's the Liverpool defenders? Again, it's the timing of the run. The time they take one step back and then they go, and that beats their high line of Liverpool.
There has been no defence. It has been shambolic. And Liverpool are paying for it time and time again. 4-0 down. Meanwhile, sending off at Tottenham. John Murray.
Marseille are down to 10 men. The former Newcastle defender, Chancel Mbemba, has been shown the red card after a foul on Son, who was sent away by Harry Kane's pass from the halfway line. They were shoulder to shoulder, but Son got away from him. Mbemba went to ground, brought him down. It was near the right corner of the box as Kane now takes the resulting free kick. It comes back to him off the wall, and then he miscues the shot. But it was near the right corner of the box, but Son certainly was heading into the penalty area. He would have been one-on-one. So Mbemba red-carded, and Marseille have got to play nearly half the match with 10 men. Tottenham 0, Marseille 0.
Napoli 4, Liverpool 0. The same scoreline that Rangers, the other British involvement in Group A, suffered a defeat in Amsterdam against Ajax. Jonathan, when does it become time for Jurgen Klopp to go damage limitation?
No, I don't think he will. He'll keep on going for it.
Here is Diaz. Diaz shoots. Fine goal from Luis Diaz. Edge of the area, onto his right foot. Just kisses the inside of the right-hand post. And Liverpool have a goal back. Now Napoli 4, Liverpool 1.
Brilliant finish. And you were just saying there, Liverpool will keep on going for it because they've got the players to turn it round, like you've just seen with Luis Diaz there. Bends it, lovely finish into the far corner. You can guarantee at half-time Jurgen Klopp saying to his team, start quick, don't concede early. You can imagine the players saying it, and they go out and do exactly the opposite that he said.
Well, just worth pointing out that Liverpool's heaviest ever defeat in European competition, and this is a side and a club that are competing in their 47th season in Europe. They're 27th in the elite European competition, so they're rich in pedigree, but their heaviest ever defeat was 5-1 actually to Ajax in 1966. They're 4-1 down here. Alexander-Arnold sprays the ball out towards the far side. Di Lorenzo heads it back. Merritt hits it first time, out of play it goes for a throw.
It was brilliant there on the replay when you saw the goal back. The Napoli fourth goal, how they beat the offside traps. So Simeone, all he did was take a step back and then go, and Liverpool had no answer for it. Then it's really difficult to defend against it.
Here is Matip, half-time substitute. Cross to Van Dijk. Wouldn't say it's exactly silenced the crowd here inside Naples, but that goal has just fractionally deflated them. Oh, hold on, won't take them long again for the north curve and the south curve to the left and right respectively to find their voices once again. There's Matip on the edge of the area, back to Alisson. He was asked yesterday about Liverpool's defensive frailties. He was also asked about how long it took to get over the defeat in the final last year. He said the next day was difficult, and he went away with the Brazilian national team and then he forgot about it. This is a professional footballer, you have to deal with the defeats, the draws, as well as the wins. Liverpool, at the minute, suffering a heavy defeat. They're 4-1 down. Milner rolls it in low. Diaz gets away from his man, he's done well. Luis Diaz creates the opening and shoots right-footed. Well, there's a spark about Luis Diaz there, just couldn't keep it down. As I can see, Thiago and Nunez and Arta all warming up a long way down beneath us here in Naples. But it's a goal kick to Napoli, who are leading 4-1.
That's what I mean about Liverpool. You can never write them off because they have the players in the team that can produce moments out of nothing. And Luis Diaz nearly did that there with that curling effort.
Ball coming out of defence from Romani. Plays it across to his fellow central defensive partner Kim. Little flick there by the back heel of Kvaratskhelia, didn't quite come off. Alexander-Arnold forward then to Elliott. Elliott just in from the touchline. Infield to Alexander-Arnold. Alexander-Arnold plays it back then to Matip. Matip back out to this near side, the right. The Liverpool supporters, I think they were given an allocation of 2,000. There was a sense of trepidation from the Liverpool supporters coming to Naples with all of its history as an opposing fan. Certainly haven't filled that allocation just away towards our right-hand side. Anguissa looks a completely different player to when he was at Fulham. He's been winning the balls and leading the attacks. As here he is once again midway through the Liverpool half. Frank Zambo Anguissa. As the ball switched by Romani. Ducks underneath it is Oliveira. Oh, lovely footwork again from Kvaratskhelia. Kvaratskhelia into the penalty area and runs into Matip. He's been a joy to watch.
Look at his work rate now. Look at that. Sprinting back.
Ball played forward towards Luis Diaz. Merritt was waiting for it. Hares out of his penalty area to clear the ball away.
He's been brilliant, hasn't he?
He has.
He's been absolutely magnificent. His name's not the easiest to pronounce, but he's been very good.
Tell you what, though, you'd score some points with if you put it down with Scrabble, wouldn't you?
Wouldn't be able to spell it, to be honest with you, Demo.
The K, a V. It's pronounced Kvaratskhelia. You'll be hearing a lot more of him, I know that for a fact. Cross comes in, took a deflection into the path of Merritt. Saved. I used to have a bit of a man crush on Konoplyanka, who used to play for Ukraine. In that position, left-hand side, very similar to Kvaratskhelia. Had favoured his right foot, used to come inside. Every time I used to see him either in Ukraine or for Ukraine. Liverpool actually nearly signed him about 6 years ago. He'd have been a great addition to the Premier League. And I'm sure at some point, Kvaratskhelia will be, that's where the power is. It's not English arrogance. The wealth of the Premier League will eventually lure all these players. We've seen that in the transfer window.
Magnificent bit of recruitment.
Yeah, very good. Liverpool have got a corner kick, the 4-1 down. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live. Alexander-Arnold to take it right-hand side, right-footed, outswinger. Headed out by Simeone, and goes out to Kvaratskhelia, who picks it up on this left-hand side. Anguissa always making himself available, and then just couldn't get the ball towards Simeone. He'll still run towards James Milner, but Milner tidies up, and in fact it was offside against the young Argentine international. And 9 minutes into the second half on BBC Radio 5 Live. 5 Live final score is available on the BBC iPlayer, the red button. And don't forget the reaction from Amsterdam, Tottenham, and here in Naples will be on the 5 Live Football Daily podcast that you'll be able to download as usual, but we'll also focus, I'm sure, quite heavily on today's sacking of Thomas Tuchel, the Chelsea manager, and Graham Potter, heavily linked to succeed him. Luis Diaz, out to Harvey Elliott, right-hand side. Elliott with the cross, Milner, far post, downward header, couldn't get it into the path of Luis Diaz, and it should be brought away by Politano. Down towards the corner flag he goes, over on that far side. And then the crowd respond to him in that bottom tier over on the far side as the flags continue to wave, and the temperature I still don't think has dropped below 28 degrees. 10 minutes into the second half. Nunez continuing to warm up, as is Jota, Thiago and Arta. Second goal for Liverpool would make it interesting. They're 4-1 down. Lobotka clears, headed forward by Van Dijk. Must be a great source of frustration, though, for Jurgen Klopp that it appears in more or less every game Liverpool are having to come from behind, whether it be in the Premier League or now here in the Champions League, as Robertson sends over a cross from the left, deep, tucked in, headed away by Oliveira, picked up by Kvaratskhelia, running away, streaking over the halfway line. Simeone waits just outside the penalty area, Politano, but Kvaratskhelia will go it alone. Politano just looks to the heavens here in Naples. He was right-hand side of the penalty box. He's made a late arrival and he was totally unmarked. And Kvaratskhelia is going to be coming off. The new king of Naples is going to get some ovation here. So he's coming off. A ripple of applause for him. And the substitutions to be coming on. Lozano and also Alessio Zerbin. So a double change. Zerbin replacing Kvaratskhelia. And then the Mexican international who's going to be coming on, and Politano is the player coming off. So like for like.
I'm disappointed he's gone off because I was enjoying his performance. His pace, his power. He wants to beat his man. He's caused a lot of problems down Liverpool's right-hand side. And he's been brilliant. He's another one you can see definitely going to the Premier League in the next few years.
Lozano left the field around half-time, I think it was, against Lazio at the weekend. So the Mexican international comes on, double change being made for Napoli, who are leading still by 4-1 on BBC Radio 5 Live. We're approaching the hour mark, still Tottenham 0, Marseille 0. Marseille, remember, are down to 10 men. As Liverpool with Van Dijk back to Alisson. Alisson plays it forward. Milner. Because Matip came on at half-time, they will still have 3 opportunities to make 4 more substitutions, Liverpool. And that quartet are still continuing to warm up down below.
Yeah, they're almost getting
Thiago, Jota and Nunez.
Getting quite vigorous now in that warm-up. They're working a lot harder than the way you can see them all coming onto the pitch at some point in this game.
Liverpool have finally scored here in Naples on their 4th visit to this stadium. However, they are trailing by 4-1. Waiting for a first goal of the night at Tottenham is John Murray.
Still Tottenham 0, Marseille 0. Marseille down to 10 men, but Tottenham on the attack. And the ball into the Marseille penalty area, but the referee says there was a foul by Højbjerg, so that'll be a free kick to Marseille. Since the sending off, when Mbemba was red-carded for a last-man foul on Son, Marseille have been slowing the game down, and Tottenham have made no further inroads. So Antonio Conte is now bringing on Kulusevski, and it is, I think, Son who is leaving the field. Is it? No, it's not. I beg his pardon. It is Emerson Royal who's coming off, and it is Kulusevski.
Lozano with a shot, right side, right footed just outside the tee. Brought it down. They had 2 actually on 2 there, Lozano, and couldn't keep it down.
And trying to beat that offside trap with the late run. I think Van Dijk just does enough.
Wouldn't have counted. Did we finish all the substitutions there?
Yeah, Emerson Royal off, and Kulusevski is on. So it's now the onus is on Tottenham to win this game against the 10 men. Tottenham 0, Marseille 0.
John will provide commentary at Manchester City of that Premier League game against Tottenham Hotspur at 5:30 on Saturday, after we've brought you Leicester City against Aston Villa from 3 with the usual goal service. On air, as always, with Mark Chapman from midday. And then 5 Live's Premier League Sunday, Arsenal-Everton at 2. West Ham Newcastle, incidentally, is live on the BBC Sport website. Crystal Palace Manchester United to follow at 4:30. Ball given away by Liverpool. Anguissa plays it forward. Simeone couldn't control the ball. Matip clears for Liverpool. Elliott picks it up 10 yards inside his own half. Liverpool with half an hour to play. Thiago's going to be coming on. Nunez is going to be coming on. Milner. Alexander-Arnold didn't beat his first man. Closed down by Lozano. It's going to be a Liverpool throw, level the penalty area on the right. You would think that Milner would make way for Thiago. And Nunez for Firmino. Liverpool needing to find 3 goals in the next 29 minutes. It was interesting yesterday in the press conference as Alexander-Arnold, right-hand side, with a good ball in, and what a save by Merritt. Luis Diaz threw himself at it, really attacked it with a bullet header, and Merritt, with a fabulous save, turns it over to prevent what will look like a certain second goal for Liverpool. Still 4-1 to Napoli. That was wonderful.
Outstanding save. The ball in from Trent. That's what he brings to this Liverpool team. And you're right, Diaz flung himself. He wants to try and get goals back, Diaz. You can see it. He's had 3 attempts now in this second half.
Out swinging corner from the left. Downward header by Firmino. And the referee saying that the ball had actually gone out of play from the corner kick, so it'll be a goal kick. So many times in the press conference yesterday, the Italian journalist was saying to Jurgen Klopp, welcome back to Naples, and then they quickly pointed out that he'd never won here, although Jurgen Klopp did respond by saying, yeah, that might be the case on my 3 previous visits with Borussia Dortmund and Liverpool, but they've always got out of the group stages. Home games will of course be vital. Next week we'll have commentary of Tottenham in Lisbon and Liverpool's home game against Ajax as they're making a triple change, and it's going to be Nunez who's come on, Thiago who's come on, and Jota, and it's Milner, Salah and Firmino. So that's 7 games now in the Champions League without a goal for Mo Salah.
It's a big start, but they need to do something. They need to freshen it up. You know, especially in this humidity as well with the heat. It's difficult for the players. And they have got a good squad with forward players.
So Jota, who got a run out in the Merseyside derby at the weekend for the final 10 minutes. He comes on for Mo Salah. And Nunez, who scored 6 goals in the Champions League for Benfica last season, replaces Firmino. Triple change being made there by Liverpool. We've got 27 minutes remaining live here in Naples on 5 Live. Napoli 4, Liverpool 1. Lobotka turns.
Brilliant.
Excellent again from Lobotka. 27 years of age. 39 caps he's got for Slovakia. Signed from Celta Vigo a couple of years ago. Zonguisa, no foul on Fabinho, says the referee. Because now it's picked up on this near side, and ball goes out of play for a throw. In fact, it will be a Napoli throw. Alessio Zerbin made his Italy debut in June in the Nations League against Hungary, coming on for only his 2nd appearance of the season. As Jota wins the ball, taken on by Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz running forward now on this near side, the right. 3 blue shirts go towards Luis Diaz. He's done well. Back to Harvey Elliott. Harvey Elliott, though, loses the ball. Zerbin wins a throw off the legs of Harvey Elliott.
Diaz has looked more lively in the second half, hasn't he? He's getting on the ball, wants to try and make things happen.
Liverpool, who've lost 1 of their Champions League opening matches in the last 12 campaigns, incidentally was against Napoli in 2019. They've won 8 and drawn 3. If we are looking at a heavy defeat, that game against Ajax next week is something that they're going to have to respond at Anfield after Ajax earlier beat Glasgow Rangers by 4-0. And then, of course, Liverpool take on Rangers in those back-to-back matches in this condensed nature of the group stages. 6 games being played in a total of 8 weeks. They'll come thick and fast. But here, 65 minutes played. Napoli 4, Liverpool 1. Ball played back. Romani. Out it goes towards that far side. Onguisa. Di Lorenzo's given it away. Can Liverpool expose that gap? Luis Diaz caught there by Romani. That'll be a yellow card to the central defender, and it's a free kick to Liverpool, far side the left as they trail 4-1.
It's dangerous again, Diaz. Liverpool get a goal back, you never know what happens, especially with this Liverpool team. They don't give up easily, and they're not giving up now.
Corner free kick to Liverpool, left-hand side of the penalty area. Napoli have got every blue shirt back in and around their penalty area. As we said, zonal marking. There's a cluster of Liverpool players: Van Dijk, Fabinho, Matip, Nunez and Jota. Luis Diaz has just been told to come away from the penalty area. In it comes from Alexander-Arnold, curled towards the far post. Matip couldn't keep the ball in play, out for a goal kick. 66 minutes played on BBC Radio 5 Live, and Liverpool still 4-1 down. Napoli have, I mean, you think of their goals. Bayern, by the way, are leading Inter by 2-0 elsewhere in Europe. So that's in Group C. The winning starts for Barcelona and Bayern in that difficult group involving Inter and Victoria Pilsen as Napoli play the ball back. I think that Merit's made a couple of good saves. Napoli hit the post early on. They've had a penalty save. Van Dijk with a goal line clearance. You could easily be looking at something like 7-3 in this game with the amount of chances that both sides have had.
Especially with the ones more clearer for Napoli. They've been the better team throughout. Even if you go to the 66 minutes, they've been the better team. They look really dangerous. Even when they defend, they're really controlling the game. But they're a good team. They're unbeaten this season.
Yeah.
You don't do that in Serie A if you're not a good team. This is a good team, well organised, quick.
Come from behind twice actually in Serie A against Lazio at the weekend, but also against Verona. They've won 3 and drawn 2 of their 5 games. They're level at the top with Milan on 11 points, but they've recruited well after selling a number of their star players during the summer. And as we approach the midway point of this second half on a muggy night, and that ricochet might come towards Luis Diaz. Nunez, good block by Romani, and then cleared away by Oliveira. It was a poor clearance, took a deflection, no look for Liverpool, couldn't benefit.
This is when Napoli are so dangerous on transitions.
On the counter-attack, Simeone making a strong run. Shot comes in, Alisson makes the save. Bowls the ball out to Alexander-Arnold. Alexander-Arnold plays it forward. Jota's over the halfway line. Now at that stage it's 3 against 3, but Kim turns and plays the ball out of touch for a throw to Napoli.
Found himself in a good position. Liverpool, like you said, 3 on 3. The ball had been right from Trent if he'd have gone a bit longer, the spacing behind.
Just over 20 minutes remaining then on BBC Radio 5 Live. No change in the scoreline. Liverpool, who were 4-0 down, we had 2 goals in the space of 3 minutes early in the second half. Luis Diaz getting one back. He's since come close with a bullet header, kept out by Merit. Here is Thiago, only trained yesterday for the second time since coming back from missing the last 5 matches with a thigh injury. Nunez round the back. Nunez couldn't get the better of Kim, who'd gone onto the floor to clear it away. Lobotka caught in possession. Helped out there was Oliveira. Liverpool still working hard. Nunez closes down the clearance from Kim, and out of play it goes for a Napoli goal kick, who still lead 4-1. 69 minutes played. Jonathan Woodgate.
It's not like Liverpool to get caught a lot on the counter-attack because they're normally so quick and so aggressive and so organised to get the ball back. But today I've just seen a different side of them where they've been easy to play through and easy to run past. They're normally full of energy like this scenario here. They're through.
Vulnerable every time to the counter. And now it's with Zerbin coming forward here for Napoli. Carries the ball to the edge of the area, inside left channel. Plays the ball back. Opportunity for Lozano, just inside the D. Right-footed, drags it right-footed, wide of the left-hand post. And it rolls out of play for a goal kick. Still 4-1 for the Italian.
Exceptional on the ball as well. They're all good on the ball. Really comfortable in possession. You can see the work. You can see what they do on the training pitch. They work in and out of possession, but they know exactly where they are. The shape of the team. It's been an outstanding performance so far.
Yeah, it certainly has. Back in the Champions League after an absence of 3 seasons. It's their 9th season in total for the European Cup /Champions League. They've only reached the knockout stages in the Champions League era 3 times out of the previous 6, but this is certainly a confident and resounding start, if of course it stays like this, where Liverpool will actually suffer a defeat on an opponent's ground in the Champions League for the first time since Real Madrid in the quarter-finals of April 2021. They were so good on their travels last season, but they're 4-1 down here. Alexander-Arnold wins a throw on the right-hand side, 19 minutes remaining. Tottenham 0, Marseille 0. The 10 men of Marseille still holding out in that other game in Group D. Here is Fabinho. Liverpool all in red. Tired ball, almost went towards Simeone. He fell onto the floor. Liverpool retained possession. Fabinho back to Matip, and Matip plays it back to Alisson. There's just been that backdrop of noise throughout the game here. The one surprise, there haven't been any firecrackers. I recall a night with John Murray where the firecrackers were going off almost every 5 minutes as the ball is played forward. Again, that ball over the top. Simeone makes the run, left-hand side. Support comes from Zerbin on this left-hand side, and he rolls the ball back, and Napoli will go back and in field to Lobotka. Talking of the big man, he's at Tottenham.
And it's still Tottenham 0, Marseille 0, just over 15 minutes to play here, and Tottenham really being frustrated by 10 men Marseille, who had Mbemba sent off early in the second half. They're just not being able to find a way through. Kulusevski, since he came on, is playing as the right wing back. He's looked as likely as anyone to provide the ball that makes the breakthrough, and Conte has just changed 2 of his central defenders. Davis and Tanganga have come on for Longley and Romero. It's still 0-0 here.
4-1 still here. Napoli once again getting round the back on that far side, the left, with Simeone. He's up against the 2 central defenders. Liverpool struggling to get the red shirts back. He has some support from Zerbin, who waits, and now all of a sudden support comes, and it's a late flag. Barcelona, by the way, are now leading 5-1 at home to Victoria Pilsen. I always felt that they were going to be the whipping boys in such a difficult group, and now we're going to have another double change made by Napoli. And who is going to be coming on? It's Liverpool, meanwhile, are attacking, despite the 4th official putting up the board. It's Luis Diaz running infield on the left-hand side to Harvey Elliott. Thiago passes the ball out towards Robertson. Robertson's cross is charged down. It's going to be Elif Elmas, the North Macedonian international, who's going to be coming on. And the other player to be coming on down below, if Elmas, the dark-haired midfielder, just moves away. I can see the shirt. Mario Rui, who's the left back. So that'll be Oliveira like for like, left back for left back. And then Elmas coming on, and Zelensky, who was terrific in the first half, who comes off.
Slightly a bit more defensive now from Napoli, looking to sort the game up.
Liverpool try and thread a forward ball towards Nunez. Comes back to Nunez, left corner of the area. Curls over the cross into the penalty area. And it curls and arcs its way out and out for a goal kick. So,
you look at Jurgen Klopp's body language sometimes. He's just got his arms stretched out wide, thinking, what are you doing? Where's that pass going? What have you tried to say, or what have you saw to hit that pass? He looks a frustrated figure at times on that sideline. What an incredible manager for this football club, Liverpool.
We're going to see Arta coming on here very, very soon. There's been a goal at Tottenham, John Murray.
Tottenham have got the breakthrough, and it's Richarlison who scored Spurs' first goal back in the Champions League, created by Perisic on the left-hand side, cut back onto his right foot, curled the ball over, and Richarlison 7 yards out, a clear header, unmarked, planted it above Pau Lopez, and Tottenham are frustrated no longer by Marseille. They lead 1-0.
Liverpool are 4-1 down here with 15 minutes remaining. Arta is ready to come on for Jurgen Klopp's side. Just needs minutes, really, does Arta. Certainly not in a position yet to complete a full 90. So they're going to have to build up his game time with appearances off the bench as Van Dijk plays a forward ball. Every outfield player in the half away towards our right-hand side. And it's with Fabinho. Up towards Nunez. Great take by the goalkeeper. Took it off his head. Actually now, the referee has spotted a foul. Nunez adjudged to have caught Merritt, who stayed down. It was a confident take though, wasn't it? Very bold goalkeeper.
That's what you want from your goalie. That is exactly what you want from your goalkeeper. 75 minutes gone and he's coming off his line and taking a ball like a basketball catch. Great leap.
Harvey Elliott is the player who's going off, and so Arthur, with 14 minutes remaining, is coming on here in Naples with Napoli. The keeper's actually stayed down. There was no hint of a foul. I had a chance to see it again from Nunez.
Definitely wasn't a foul.
No. But
Merritt landed awkwardly.
Yeah, may have landed awkwardly. 25-year-old keeper is still down, and Napoli maintaining their unbeaten start to the season. No side is going to find it easy coming here.
No, Napoli have been. It's been a top performance from them from the start. They set the stall out by doing what Liverpool normally do to teams, by being aggressive, by getting them behind teams, by playing decisive balls and being decisive in front of goal. They've been terrific.
That's the voice of Jonathan Woodgate. Merritt is still down. Let's go back to Tottenham, John.
Game suddenly opened up now. Tottenham leading Marseille by 1-0. That Richarlison header. But now Marseille with the 10 men are having to come out, and that's open spaces for Tottenham. Richarlison was denied at the feet of Paul Lopez, but it is Richarlison's goal, his first for Tottenham on his 6th appearance for the club. That means Spurs lead 1-0.
Merritt is able to continue. Players about to resume here in Naples. 12 minutes remaining. Napoli 4, Liverpool 1. Merritt hits it left-footed. Thiago off the chest, then his head. Anguissa, handball, I think that was. That'll be a free kick to Liverpool, 10 yards inside their own half. Chipped across by Thiago. The threat from Napoli seems to have eased somewhat. I mean, at times it was such a worrying first half performance, wasn't it, from Liverpool?
But he's made changes to keep this win, because you never know with Liverpool that can produce something, but he's just made them a lot more solid, more defensive in the play. And at times that's what you need to do. You need to see the game out sometimes.
Luciano Spalletti took a 2-year sabbatical after leaving Inter back in May 2019, before he was appointed here in May 2021. Liverpool fans might remember he was in charge of Zenit St. Petersburg, who eliminated Liverpool in the Europa League last 32. 2013 that was. How time flies. As the ball goes out of play for a throw, Jurgen Klopp, all in black. Not necessarily the most suitable of attire on such a hot, sweltering night in Naples, but he's still wearing his baseball cap. Spalletti, with his bald head. He's renowned for wearing a cap too. But you can see that bald head gleaming off the floodlights down below for what is going to be an excellent night for Napoli. Out of play it goes for a throw to Liverpool. Another goal for Tottenham. John Murray.
And Richarlison's second goal for Tottenham has come 6 minutes after his first. 2 goals for Richarlison, 2 for Tottenham now. This, a header from 6 yards. He was under pressure from Gigot, but it was a dominating back post header. Just looking to see if he was onside. He was onside, in off the post. And Spurs lead Marseille by 2-0. And Antonio Conte's side are heading for victory on their return to the Champions League.
The only bright spot for the British clubs, it would seem, with Tottenham now leading 2-0. Rangers earlier in our first commentary game lost 4-0 in Amsterdam. Liverpool with 10 minutes remaining are still 4-1 down here in Naples. Van Dijk to Thiago, just clattered away downfield. A no-nonsense clearance by Min Jae Kim, the 6'3" South Korean international.
He's been solid in the game. Been really good. Looks like he's an organiser with the team when you can see him with his arms stretched out, pointing at players trying to organise. You need them. You need them in your team. You need organisers, especially when you're playing against the top Liverpool team.
Signed a 4-year deal from Fenerbahce to replace Koulibaly as Liverpool pass the ball with Arta out towards that far side. Thiago running infield. Now it's with Jota just outside the centre circle. Liverpool in all red, playing from left to right. Lost the ball in the challenge there, Arta. There's a break on now for Napoli. It's been passed forward here to Zerbin, who inside. And this is with Simeone. His shot is charged down. Didn't quite fall to Elmas, who was up with the attack. And the header back by Matip. And then Arta once again, almost caught in possession once more. It was a foul by Elmas. Referee's given a free kick that Liverpool want to take it quickly. Up towards Nunez. His ball inside is going to be got there first by Anguissa. Thiago, though, dispossesses him to Luis Diaz. Carries the ball to the edge of the area. Ball inside towards Jota, who turns and didn't really get a meaningful touch. 6 yards out from goal and gathered in by Alex Merritt.
No, he just didn't get enough on it. Trent was going for the overlap on the left-hand side, and it weakens him. I thought Luis Diaz had just gone on his own and tried to bury it in the far corner.
Liverpool's defence was wide open there. Simeone was actually offside. Flag was raised. He was clearly offside. That's why the assistant on that occasion was able to play it. But the gap between the two central defenders was vast. At the final whistle, by the way, Mount Vesuvius won't have erupted. It'll just be the Napoli supporters who will be celebrating a handsome win on their return to the Champions League in what is a football-mad city. You had a wander, didn't you, earlier today to see the Maradona mural?
I think when you come to Naples, you have to go and have a look at it, have a little wander. Me and Juliet through the streets of Napoli. It was brilliant, to be fair. Great experience to do it.
Juliet will be going to the bowels of the stadium with its moat that runs underneath the athletics track to try and get the reaction that you'll hear on 5 Live's Football Daily podcast as Luis Diaz cuts inside from the left. He's still going, passes the ball to Arta. His shot was charged down by Rui, and it goes behind for a corner kick. Liverpool, to their credit, have kept on plugging away.
Yeah, that's what you get with this Liverpool team. They won't give up, they won't throw the towel in. And Luis Diaz has been a prime example of that. Kept on going throughout the game. Tried to grab the game by the scruff of the neck. Even when Napoli went 4-0 up, he kept on trying, he kept on wanting the ball.
Alexander-Arnold with the out-swinging corner kick. Van Dijk's downward header. Headed out by the Napoli defence. Thiago passes the ball to Arta, the Brazilian. Swung over then by Alexander-Arnold. 3 red shirts wait, far side of the penalty area. Nunez helps keep it alive. Jota loses out in the challenge. And then Lozano has to turn away from Fabinho. Plays the ball forward to Lobotka. He's been caught in possession. And now it's with Jota running forward. But that was a strong challenge just coming out by Di Lorenzo. Giovanni Di Lorenzo, the Italian international, and the captain of this Napoli side, who played 6 of the 7 games in Italy's Euro success. A reliable and steady performer as Zerbin forward for Napoli. We have 5 minutes of normal time remaining. Lobotka to Anguissa. No sign of Ndombele, former Tottenham player who, of course, is on loan here. Tottenham, who incidentally still lead against the 10 men of Marseille by 2 goals to 0.
The way the 3 midfield have played for Napoli today, and Ndombele will really struggle to get in this team. There's a 3 in midfield for Napoli. They've been absolutely terrific. Lobotka, Zielinski, Anguissa, all 3 have had fantastic games.
Liverpool will look to try and shake off this disappointment against Wolverhampton Wanderers on Saturday in the Premier League. Then Ajax are the visitors to Anfield next Tuesday. Commentary on 5 Live. And then it's Chelsea before the international break. Liverpool are attacking. Nunez cuts in from the left-hand side. 30 yards out from goal. Alexander-Arnold, left-footed, passes the ball in. Jota beaten in the air by Romani, the central defender, and an acrobatic kick away by Simeone. Played forward by Van Dijk, but he's presented the ball straight towards Anguissa, and it could be 3 against 2 here. Zerbin now is released. It's 2 on 2. Zerbin goes for goal himself. Simeone could have been played in the inside right channel, but his right-footed curling effort was saved by Alisson.
I think Van Dijk was going to Anguissa, go on, run me, but he didn't want to know. Alisson was in the right place at the right time, but you're watching the game now and you're watching it about, but Napoli still want more. They're still hungry, they still have that energy and that desire to want to get forward and want to score more goals.
The Napoli supporters find their voices on a night where I'm sure they will celebrate hard after such an impressive victory. 4-1 they lead. Liverpool far side the left. Liverpool will rest and recover and then fly back to Merseyside tomorrow as the ball is played back to Fabinho. Thiago now with Alexander-Arnold. Just looking, Anguissa actually had a loan spell away at Tottenham's opponents, Marseille, from his time away from Craven Cottage. Never actually beat Liverpool during his time with Fulham. A draw and 2 defeats against the red shirts of Liverpool. Thiago tries to thread it through. It reaches Nunez. Nunez into Jota. And then the Napoli defence just squeezed. And Romani clattered the ball away with 2.5 minutes remaining.
Clear your lines. Last 3 minutes, last 2 minutes to go in the game. And just seeing it out well. They're a well-organised, aggressive, young team.
Ball played forward to Nunez, left-hand side of the penalty area. Robertson is in support. Nunez brings the ball away from the byline towards the left corner of the box. Robertson has a touch on the left touchline. Arta to Matip. Liverpool again have committed red shirts forward. Matip 10 yards forward of the centre circle to Thiago. Nice turn. Jota pulls it back. Shot placed by Arta. Comes back towards Arta, towards Thiago. Napoli defending deep. Late pressure from Liverpool, but all too late. And it will be to no avail as they still require 3 more goals. Thiago enters the penalty area. Looking for Luis Diaz. Turns, right-hand side. Alexander-Arnold swings over the cross and Napoli are forced to concede the corner kick. Corner to Liverpool. Late pressure. 60 seconds remain of normal time.
Typical Italian defending from the 2 centre-backs. Thought Nunez was just going to get in between the middle of them both, but no. They've defended well throughout the game.
Corner kick to Liverpool, far side to left, playing from left to right as we look. Swung over now, and then it's hit by Jota on the volley, inside right channel of the penalty area, and there was a stray leg by Thiago that had just caught Elmas, and that will be a free kick to Napoli. We'll find out how much added on time, but Jurgen Klopp down below, all in black with his arms behind his back, looks a rather resigned figure, Jonathan Woodgate.
It does. It does. It'll be difficult for him this time as Liverpool manager, but I'm sure he'll come back. He's that type of squad, he's that type of manager. He'll get the players back on side for Wolves on Saturday. And to be fair, I wouldn't like to be a Wolves team facing Liverpool after being beat 4-1. There'll be a reaction there, I'm sure of that.
You would think so. You know what happened last time? They looked for a reaction when they took on Bournemouth at Anfield and ran out 9-0 winners. But 4 minutes of added on time, which we're now into here in Naples. Nobody appears to be leaving early inside this bowl-like stadium that holds just under 55,000. The ultras are gathered, the flags are still flying, And they will give these Napoli players such an ovation. But very, very impressive from Napoli. Bearing in mind the margin of victory could have been much worse from a Liverpool point of view.
Could have been a lot greater. They deserve all the plaudits they'll get after this game. The Napoli players, the manager.
Napoli will be match day 6 at Anfield. That could be a real contest at Anfield. Liverpool will have hoped to have made up a lot of ground in the intervening matches. As here is Elmas, edge of the area, takes it out of the box, left-hand side. We've played already for the first minute of the minimum of 4 on BBC Radio 5 Live, as the ball is kicked away by Elmas, and it will be a goal kick. I'll be intrigued to hear what Jurgen Klopp has to say, Jonathan.
He'd be very disappointed, and he'll be more disappointed, I think, about the intensity of his players, because for me, Napoli have had more intensity and they've used it better.
I mean, last season, on their way to the final, they won 10 of their 13 matches in Europe. 2 defeats, that includes obviously the final to Real Madrid. The other one was Inter at home. So this is unusual for Liverpool, and yet there appears to be a fragility about their defence this season.
Yeah, there does. I'd say because it hasn't been settled. It's only since the first game they had Trent Alexander-Arnold playing Robertson, Matip and Van Dijk, and since then it's been changed, and that's not easy for a team who's so used to the team playing with that 4 same defenders more or less throughout the season.
We've got about 90 seconds remaining of stoppage time. We'll be reflecting on Chelsea's decision to sack Thomas Tuchel today, with Mark Chapman through till 10:30, as well as the reaction and reflecting on the Champions League matches. Ajax 4, Rangers 0, Spurs still leading the 10 men of Marseille 2-0. And here, Napoli 4, Liverpool 1. Napoli are attacking right-hand side. Just over 60 seconds remain. Anguissa plays the ball back out towards that right-hand side. Lozano tries to deliver the cross. The Mexican international has it charged down, and it's a corner kick. As Simeone, who had the easiest of tasks to get his first goal since he arrived in the first half, applauds the Napoli supporters. Inside the last 60 seconds. And it's going to be taken short, it would seem. It is taken short on the right-hand side. Not quite their biggest win in the Champions League. That was 4-0 against Ghent 3 years ago, although they've just won the ball back, and a shot comes in from Lozano, who used to play for PSV Eindhoven, strikes the body of Robertson, and behind for another corner kick. By my watch, the 4 minutes are all but over on this muggy night. And indeed, there is the final whistle. It's a chastening night for Liverpool, their heaviest defeats in the Champions League. And it could have been much, much worse. Napoli so impressive. Napoli 4, Liverpool 1. Jonathan.
Really impressive performance by Napoli, especially first half. More energy than Liverpool. The forward runs that we're doing was hurting the back 4. Alexander-Arnold was struggling. Joe Gomez was struggling. Then half-time, Jurgen Klopp brings him off, which is the right decision in my eyes. But they were better throughout the team. I think the 3 in midfield really dominated the game, and Liverpool couldn't handle the pace running behind them.
So there is the full-time score here in Naples, Mark, and Napoli will certainly be a test for every side coming here. 4-1 it's finished to the Serie A league leaders.